Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails at the Tangiers. I'm your host, Craig Shacklett. Really, it's a co-hosted show. We've got the host whisperer here, the legend, Nick Ippolito. Nick, how are you, sir?
It is not co-hosted. You are the host. I am just the guest. You are definitely the host, buddy.
Let's get to the matter at hand. Nick, there's a lot of controversy around the industry around coding every single one of your top tier players. Do you have thoughts on that? Because I know sometimes you don't have opinions.
I have thoughts on it? No, I don't, Craig. You want to go to the next question?
Yeah.
I don't. Me have thoughts on something? No. Well, actually, Joel will probably put the post if you send it. We give it to him. The post that I posted on LinkedIn is what sparked that comment, which you and I talked about, which made the whole video last time. That's all we got to talk about. And the post was breaking news. Hosts don't need to be coded to all your top tier players. And so I feel like in 2023 and definitely going forward in 2024, that I am the absolute advocate for player development. We have done things in PD now for many, many years, and we've done it the same way. And no one's taken a moment out to go, hey, is it working? Is it, we just throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing if it sticks, or is it, is this working? And I know this sounds always like we're pitching or we're bragging, but it's so important that people know that I'm in a different casino every week, right? Or almost every week. And we don't say that to pitch our companies or to brag, but to understand where the experience is coming from, right? And where the opportunities that I see. I'm sitting with hosts. I'm sitting with all your hosts. I sit with them. And that's the time where we talk and we engage. So the big thing right now is GMs or CEOs or leadership, marketing, directors of marketing. We do the tiers, right? We have tiers. All these casinos have tiers. 3 tiers, 4 tiers, 6, 7 tiers, some of them, right? Blue, green, red, jade, pearl, this, silver, groves, bronze, rose, tulip, whatever, thorn, right? Junior, diamond, chairman. And when you get the brochure at the Players Club, you have benefits for each of these tiers, which I think the first 2 should get a kick in the ass, right? They should get nothing. And the second tier should get a little, and then the top tier should be overloaded to make people play to that level, right? And always the top tier, one of the top tier benefits is you get a casino host. So this is where I'm asking companies, properties, casinos, CEOs, marketing leaders to let's put the brakes on this. Let's look at this, because now a host is coded to 400 people. 500 people, 700 people. I go to casinos and I say to the host, how many you coded to? And they go 700. And in front of God and everybody, I go, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And leadership gets uncomfortable, but it's ridiculous. Hey, in my casino, I could care less. You want to do that? You want to do it. It's going to affect, if I'm coded to 700 people, there's 420 people I'm not speaking to. That's the bottom line. But as I massaged this, I realized leaders were telling me, well, Craig still makes his numbers. So now we realize, Tom Windward and I were just doing this with some of the properties we're working on with their data. I'm sure you could do it with Trios, where you pull a percentage of, first of all, who comes 15 plus times a month, 17 times a month, 19 times a month. Why are they coded to a host? A host is not driving that. Why are you paying a host for that? Why are you bonusing a host? Why are you incentivizing a host for that? First of all, bonus and incentive, 2 different things. Incentive means their growth. So if I come 19 times a month, I don't think you're going to get much more growth out of me. And you might get more trips out of me, but you're not going to get more play out of me. So now I become a decliner. So you push these hosts, I'll pay you, grow this guy. Well, he comes 19, so the host forces him to come 2 more times in the month, and now he's a decliner, right? This is the stuff we're not looking at. So a lot of times I get to a property and I'll look at a host number and I'll pull out I'll tell the database pro. I love data. I love database people, and I love that I'm training PD leaders now, and I'm coaching PD leaders now to massage that data almost every day. Have your hands in that data every day, right? Play with it, mess with it. Pull out 5 names. Give your host 5 names today. Here's 5 people I found that live, 75 miles away. They only came here once. At the end of the day, let me know what those 5 people said, right? Not, here's what PD leaders do with me all the time. Oh, they have their list. Oh, they have their list. Yeah, they have 700 people. Half of them live in a state that they're not coming ever again. 3 of them are dead. 4 of them are 86. 2 of them are in the hospital or a heart attack. I know they have their list, and they know, and God bless these hosts. They'll pull up their top 12 players and go, he's dead. He's in 86. His wife's got a heart attack. He's in Hawaii. They know him. What do you want them to do now? It's not the host's fault. So the problem we run into is we're coding hosts, players, high-frequency guests. And if you're a high-frequency guest and you're listening, I adore you. I love you. We need you. We want you. But you know that you can use a kiosk or reward center or any host. Doesn't matter. You're coming anyway. You come in tomorrow and you go, oh, it's Craig. I need my comp to go to the steakhouse. And they go, no, Craig quit and he went to Vegas. They're going to go, oh, he was a nice guy. Can I have my comp to go to? That's the loyalty, right? On a high frequency guest. So I think we should code and pay hosts for what they're driving and what they're responsible for and where the growth is.
And how do you identify that? Because I am 100% on board with you on, high frequency. You got 100% of that wallet, right? They live 5 minutes away. You got every single trip. So why invest in driving more? You're not going to drive more. So you mentioned earlier, like, hey, 75 miles away. Is there, you don't give away the secret sauce, but do you have kind of a system where you come in and say, like, okay, ignore this 90% of people. Here's the 10% where you can actually move the needle if your hosts actually focus on these people.
Well, of course. I mean, my whole career was built. My career as a host was built on that, right? And my career in Ippolito.com has been built on that. Yeah, of course. And it's really not a secret sauce. It's just exactly what you said, right? And it's where the trick again is to work with the database person and not get complacent. Not say, well, these 700 people are coded to Craig. He's got his numbers. Goodbye. I'm going to go do this, and the other thing, right? It's a constant management of this database and talking to those and looking at the list. When the host says to you, hey, there's people on this list that suck, Peter to go, they roll their eyes and they call me in the office. They go, he says that about everywhere. Well, let's investigate it. Let's pull it up. Let's open it up. Let's read, so many. I'll tell you one thing, Craig, whenever a CEO or a PD leader or GM, whatever, they want to talk to me about data, when they want to talk to me about this segment, when they want to talk to me about coded host, I have to see them on an Excel sheet. I have to see all of them, not the total. I don't here. 300 people are worth 8 million. I can't. I got to open it up. I have to go down the list. I have to see who these people are and have the host in the meeting too, because again, they know the top 12, right? So we got to get away from this. And I understand here's the dilemma. It's a benefit in the card system, right? It's a benefit in the cards. So what I'm saying to you, or what I'm saying to property is, so you hire 7 hourly, don't call them junior hosts. I hate that term, junior. You hire 7 hourly VIP hosts, and they are always on the floor at a desk or at a kiosk. And you tell your top player, no, you don't have that one host anymore. No, you have 7 hosts, and I'm your host, and the security guard's your host. And anybody who sees this card, here's one thing we don't do, and I'm trying to do this in my customer service training. When anybody on that property sees that top card, they should be bowing to that person. Forget a host. The security guards, if they see that card, they shouldn't be going, ma'am, sir, you can't be that. You can put your mask on, sir. Put your cigarette out, right? Because we hire all these ex-cops to run our security. Don't get me started. You want comments? You want this video to go viral? Don't get me started. So I think everybody, the EVS, the dishwasher, when they see that card, that's the benefit. We don't have valet. Leave your card leave the car running. Leave it wherever you want. Don't worry about it. We got you, right? Don't worry about a host. And and let's get into the next thing that I just talked about. We're coded to too many people. And I'm telling you, I'm picturing them in my head. Dear friends of mine that run PD departments hate this conversation with me. Doesn't matter. We're coded to too many accounts. Hire more hosts, hire telemarketers, hire VIP hosts. Hosts are coded to too many accounts. Here's the other thing I want to talk about. The secret tier people are doing, or the unpublished tier. Big mistake. Big mistake. And I know, and I can tell you why it's a big mistake, but I'm not gonna. I love your secret sauce. I love the secret sauce. But and I put this on LinkedIn. We should have a hosted tier. And that's the tier that gets an executive host or a casino host. It's a hosted tier. And don't make it glamorous, and don't make it gold, and don't make it the top, because then all your high frequency guests are going to come in and go, I want it. I want that. You know, there's I don't want to say his name, but he did a gorgeous, it looks like better than my American Express card. And it's supposed to be secret. And the first guy they gave it to went to the Baccarat pit and said, look what I got. To everybody.
And everybody wants it.
So, and the thin line there is what I just said earlier. You do want people to go, well, how do I get that card? How do I get that? Right? Yeah, I know you, but I think a hosted tier is grandfather. It's who we want. They could be a low, let's say a host loves this high frequency guest. He's got a 69 Theo, but he comes every day and I love him. You could have him. I'm not being like that. You know, sometimes we make too much about coding, you know, but a hosted tier is just that. It's a hosted tier. But when the top tier says, well, I want it, you say, why? You're the top tier. You have all these benefits. It's upsell. I'm a salesman. You got to upsell always, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask, the host is assigned players that have high potential, and their goal is drive incremental trips and move them up the ladder to you get their potential. Maybe it'll never be 20 times a month, but like at some point they reach the potential. Do you recommend keeping those players coded when you think you've reached their potential? Or is it like the host's job is to just get them to where they need to be and then they aren't coded? Or are you just talking about high frequency, doesn't have hosts, but these people that are solid players, maybe you got them to their potential, which is, 4 trips per quarter, but they're going to stay coded? Like, what are your thoughts on
that? I would say yes to all of that. I think, and I see people on LinkedIn, and I don't know if they say they're consultants, but or writing proposals. I don't know what they're doing, but there's this big thing about coding. It's not that big of a deal. We make such a big issue out of it. There are far more greater issues in the PD world than who. It's up to the PD leader. You want to code me to somebody? You don't want to code me to somebody? 3 trips, 2 trips, 1 trip, doesn't matter, right? You should know your host. You should know who's working. You should know who's growing the business. You should know who's maintaining the business. So if I grew this person and I proved to you, hey, I grew this person. When you gave him to me, he had 1 trip and he hadn't been in since COVID. Now he comes 7 times every month. I grew him. I should be coded him, and I should get. Now, there's also a difference between coded and getting paid. So to your thing, once you get a person at this maintenance level, so we grew him, he made 1 trip in COVID. Now I got him 7 trips every month. He's not making any more. I got paid when I reactivated him, right? Hopefully I got paid. I would definitely pay a host anything for that. I would pay them no cap, nothing, pay them anything for reactivation, right? Great, you got this guy in. Maybe I get paid a few more times, and now we see, okay, he's leveled off at 7 trips. So you can still be coded to him, Craig, but I don't know if I'm going to pay you anymore. I already pay you a salary, don't I? Mm-hmm. So when I first get a commission or an incentive or a bonus program, the first thing I tell PD leaders to ask themselves and ask their hosts is, what do I get for what I pay you for? What do I get for that? And now we'll talk about bonus or incentive, 2 different things, bonus and incentive. So yeah, I think I know where you're going with it. And like, my point is, I think it's property discretion, PD leader discretion, but I definitely wouldn't pay anymore if I've maxed out this person. He's always coming. Now he's a maintenance person. So you have a maintenance block and you have a prospecting block.
Well, I want to put a pin in this, and I also want to add a bookmark to come back to. You got your high frequency guest who's accustomed to a host, and how do we ease the host away and make that transition? Because I think it's a great idea, and I think probably the biggest roadblock to most casinos is like, I know they're going to lose their S if we say they don't have a host. So how do we help them transition? So let's save that for the next time.
Yeah.
In Cocktails at Tangiers.
Yes.
Nick, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I wanted to tell you, it's so funny that these episodes we're having are absolutely, whether they click like or not, or comment or not, they're absolutely getting viewed, because the last few months alone, PD, vice presidents of PD and CEOs have laughed with me about other people that are consulting and other people that are trying to get jobs as PD leaders, and they're quoting verbatim and luckily they called me laughing, and they knew it, and they said to the candidate, "That's Craig and Nick. We're just having that exact comment, like verbatim, you know." So and then they tell me, a lot of guys are calling around going, "What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you?" Like, it just cracks me up. The people who, they want to be an expert, they want to be a consultant, but they're calling everywhere. They know, "Oh, give me yours. What do you do? What do you do?" And the funniest thing I heard twice this year was somebody cut and paste my website, the text on my website, and just put it in their proposal. And the person knew it. The person knew me. And they go, "This is Nick Ippolito's website," But the funniest one was quoting, they said that with the CEO said to him, "That's Craig and Nick's last podcast they just had. You said it verbatim, Too funny. But I love it. I love it. That means it's out there, and we're popping bubbles.
Hey, it's getting thousands of views, all these. So like and comment. Don't be afraid. Put questions in and let us know what you think. Because hey, maybe we're wrong. I don't know. It's not likely. No, I'm just kidding. But
no, we never say we have all the. We never say we're right, Craig. We're just trying to get the conversation going.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Nick, thank you so much, sir. And we will do this again in a week or so.
Yep, you got it, buddy. Great seeing you.
Great seeing you.